Bitcoin and altcoins are dumping. Is the worst of it over, or do we have further downside? I want to share some details with you. And Wall Street giant Citadel Securities is launching crypto services. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, I'm sure many of you know the crypto market is dumping. Bitcoin went below $91,000. What's interesting, we started seeing a bit of a sell-off earlier today where the market was turning red, and I tweeted out around 3:30 p.m. Eastern that don't be surprised if Bitcoin went to the 80Ks. Now, that would still be within the bull market support levels, so there wouldn't be any invalidation. Now, if it goes below, let's say 83K, then I would say, okay, guys, I'm a bit worried. But right now, this is still within a healthy correction, still looking good overall. And in fact, Bitcoin's RSI in the daily chart is approaching the oversold levels. I've often shared that fact with you in different parts of the bull market when we are in a overbought zone where the RSI is over or 70 and above, and when we're near the oversold where the RSI is 30 and below. So Bitcoin headed to that oversold zone. So I think the worst of this could be over. Don't get me wrong. It could go further down because we don't have a crystal ball, but no invalidation of the bull market. Bitcoin still sitting comfortably above the 200-week and 200-day moving averages. So no invalidation of the bull market. And of course, the altcoins are going to bleed out, right? Ethereum, XRP, Solana, much more, lots of red, very bloody out here. And if you caught my live stream this morning, guys, I talked about we had to be patient and we could still experience more volatility towards the end of February, and that we could go lower, right? I said, look, this is all probabilities and we'll see what happens. So we went lower, but everyone is looking to see where's the bottom. And I think the bottom's around the corner, guys. Honestly, I'm not saying that to make you feel good. I'm just saying that based on the chart analysis by simply looking at the daily RSI, that this thing is near the oversold zone. And obviously millions of dollars getting liquidated, a lot of longs getting liquidated, and it's pretty bloody out there. But what's very bullish is that, once again, we are in a bull market and the fear and greed index went to fear. And I've often stated to you guys over the years, in a bull market, when you have fear, that is a very bullish thing, because the short squeeze is coming, guys, the opposite move, right? The market does the opposite of the herd. So the herd was still greedy. They were still in the neutral zone. Well, now they're in fear, and that's the setup for a reversal, guys. Things are moving ahead in the right direction. I like what Chris Berninsky said. In the middle of 2021, Bitcoin drew down 56%, ETH drew down 61%, Solana drew down 67%, many others 70 to 80%. You can come up with all the reasons for why this cycle is different, but the mid-bull reset we're going through isn't unprecedented. Those calling for a full-blown bear are misguided. So you're going to see a lot of people say, that's it, it's over. It's a bear market, right? And then many times they're going off their emotions, and sometimes they're shorting. So they want you to feel the fear. They want you to sell because they're shorting the market. Now, I don't use leverage, so it's not like I have longs and I'm trying to get you guys to buy or something. That's not the case. But I buy the assets and I hold for the macro long-term view. And my portfolio is up based off the 2022 bottom, and early January 2023, I bought around there. So my portfolio is up, but obviously in the short term, it's down, as I'm sure many of you, depending on where you bought. If you bought the top of the cycles, then obviously you're not up much, and that's the wrong time to be buying. But this is the crypto market, guys. And look, the stock market's feeling pressure as well. So it's not just the crypto market, but obviously crypto is much more volatile. But guys, I tweeted out today some charts that I believe the Bitcoin and stock markets will find their bottom soon. And the big question I personally have is not like, are we going to keep going higher? But rather, when is the blow off top going to happen? Is it going to happen at the end of Q2, or is this thing going to Q4? That's the big question I have. And I shared a couple of charts, the S&P 500 as well as the Bitcoin chart. So We shall see what happens, guys. We are definitely in the macro fifth wave using Elliott wave theory, and we have to be patient and ride out the cycles. This is part of it, guys. If you can't handle this, then you can't handle the higher highs and the higher prices, right? So Bitcoin still intact. Everything's still good here. What's interesting, President Nayib Bukele of El Salvador tweeted out that he bought the dip. He said, "Oh, ye of little faith," and show that they bought 8 Bitcoin today, bringing their total to 6,088 Bitcoin. Raoul Pal, macro investor, shared the Bitcoin chart from 2017. That's a bull market I experienced. He said, "You guys need to learn patience." This was 2017, very similar macro structure. He says 5 times 28% plus pullbacks in Bitcoin. Most lasted 2 to 3 months before a new high. Alts saw 65% corrections. All were noise. Go do something else more constructive than stare at the screen. He's right. And guys, that was my first bull market. And don't get me wrong, man, it was scary because the pullbacks were greater. They were very sharp and there were very bigger percentages than what we're experiencing now and have experienced so far in this bull market. So that was gut wrenching as my first go around. But, I stuck to my thesis and I didn't panic because I realized this thing is here to stay. The technology, I did my research. I read the Bitcoin white paper. I started following people who were experts on what was happening. And obviously, I was still early in the journey, but I started looking at the charts and following great analysts who were providing data, not feelings or emotions. And that helped me to, go through the market. And I didn't get everything right. Don't get me wrong, because it was my first go around, but I did make a little bit of money. And then I made more money in 2020 and 2021. And I'm trying to do the same here, guys. So overall, things are still bullish. I know that's some of you may think I'm crazy, but once again, this is my third bull market. I've seen this show before. And until there's invalidation on the charts and all the bull market signals that I share in the newsletter and I shared on the live stream this morning, until there's invalidation of those things, it's business as usual. And we just got to go through the market cycles. And what we continue to see, guys, is that both the government and the TradFi institutions on Wall Street are jumping into crypto. So today we got $64 billion asset manager Citadel to offer crypto trading and become a liquidity provider for cryptocurrencies. This is, of course, Ken Griffin's firm, and obviously very controversial going back to, what took place in 2020 and 2021 with GameStop and AMC and so forth. So we're not talking about that. That in itself is a whole other topic, but I want you to see how all of these big Wall Street firms are capitulating. Ken in the past said negative things about crypto. Now all of a sudden his firm is launching crypto services. So incredible stuff. The report is coming out from Bloomberg, and it says here, Ken Griffin's market-making giant Citadel Securities is looking to become a liquidity provider for cryptocurrencies, betting President Donald Trump's embrace of the industry will usher in a boom for the asset class. So once again, look at what's happening. Despite the price action, they're entering in the market. It's a clear pivot from the firm's previous cautious stance on crypto market making. Citadel Securities has had a limited presence in crypto trading, having steered clear of exchanges frequented by retail investors due to lack of regulations around the United States. The firm aims to get added to the roster of market makers on various exchanges, including those run by Coinbase Global, Binance Holdings, and Crypto.com, according to people familiar with the matter. Guys, I hope you see what's happening here. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Things are setting up for a massive bull run and the continued growth of this asset class. And I've often told you guys, I'm also preparing for the 2028 bull market, that I'll be taking profits this year, which I believe we'll see the blow off top this year. And then I will reinvest some of those profits in the bloody bear market come 2026, 2027, and then prepare for the next run up, because this thing's only going to continue to grow. And, these guys are announcing that they're launching services, but it takes time for them to ramp up and get things going. These firms can't just launch stuff overnight. So just keep in mind, some of these things will take years to become fully mature and pan out. But they clearly want to get involved. Folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Propy. Propy is bringing real estate on chain. This company is doing amazing things, guys. They are leading the charge with merging Web3 and real estate, and you can buy and sell properties on Propi using crypto. It's amazing. So Propi is a licensed Web3 pioneer. They've been operating since 2017. They've facilitated over $4 billion in transactions. They use a crypto escrow service with Coinbase. So when you're buying and selling, they're putting titles and deeds on chain. Guys, we know the future of the markets will be on chain. Real estate will be tokenized and sitting on blockchains, guys. We know that's coming. Larry Fink at BlackRock told you about it. And we've been talking about the token economy for years. And billionaire investor Tim Draper is actually an investor in his company. Now, I am a Propi token holder. I have been since 2018 because I saw they were ahead of the curve with real estate and putting it on chain. So I took a bet and I still hold those Propi tokens, guys. I've been a long-term holder. And you can actually earn some free Propi tokens with a new campaign that Propi has, where it's Own Your Tomorrow, where you can share their vision video, sign up, invite a friend, and you can earn free Propi tokens. So to learn more about Propi, guys, check out the links in the description. Now, interesting news coming from Coinbase. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, tweeted out stablecoins for Canada, Nigeria, and Brazil all recently launched on Base. So of course, Base is Coinbase's Ethereum layer 2. This is very interesting that they're doing this on Base. So huge shout out to Coinbase and what they are able to accomplish. It's a smart move they made with launching Base, and they didn't add a token, and they've been generating a lot of fees, which has been boosting their revenue. So it's working out really well for them, but amazing. Countries launching stablecoins on blockchain. So I hope you see what's going on here, guys. Speaking of stablecoins, the DFSA has officially approved USDC and the EUROC as recognized tokens under its crypto regulatory framework, the first stablecoins to receive this status. Companies in the DIFC can now integrate them for payments, treasury management, and more. So amazing stuff. And we got news here from Paradigm, Alexander Grieve of Paradigm, that Paradigm, by the way, is a VC firm. They met last week with Hester Peirce and the SEC Crypto Task Force specifically to discuss airdrops and how the SEC should think about them. So Alexander says, while Congress figures out how to define assets themselves, the SEC can share exemptive guidance that would clarify airdrop issuance. So airdrops, in my opinion, not a security, especially if you're just simply holding a token and you got them for free. It's very much like NFTs, right? If you're getting the tokens for free, there's no investment contract. Come on, this is ridiculous. But under the scumbag regulator Gary Gensler, he tried to do all that. So we could see some clarity come from the SEC very soon. It would just make sense. And this is great that these firms and different crypto companies are going in, meeting with the SEC. Actually, Michael Saylor, apparently, I don't know if he went in this week or so, but he apparently Michael Saylor went in and met with the SEC, and he also presented a document with his suggestions for crypto regulations. Now, I can't read through the whole thing, but from at first glance, it looks pretty good. It's called Digital Assets Framework. Principles and opportunity for the United States. And once again, overall, it looks good, but I'm waiting for some legal experts to weigh in. Now, this is Saylor's suggestion. Doesn't mean the SEC has to use it or anybody has to use it. So some people are getting a bit triggered about this, but it's just a suggestion. And we have to wait to see what Congress puts together. And obviously, the SEC is going to work with Congress to get things done. I had interviewed Hester Peirce. I think it was late December, early January, if I'm not mistaken. And we talked about this. They're going to work with the members of Congress to try to get comprehensive, balanced legislation in place. So great to see the SEC actually engaging with the industry, right? What a far cry from what we had over the past 4 years. Now, guys, OKX, this is an exchange I used to work for years ago, and they had a US version of that exchange called OKCoin, and they sunsetted it because after Gary Gensler was going crazy and sending out Wells notices and much more, they decided to leave the United States. Well, similar to what happened to Binance, they're getting dinged by the US DOJ. They had to pay some penalties, millions of dollars, of course, about US customers using their platform. So this goes back to the Wild Wild West days of the crypto market when, people would use proxies, they would, sign up on their fake addresses and so forth. So no fraud was happening here. They didn't steal anybody's money, but I want to let you guys know about it. And it's like the Binance case. They didn't steal anybody's money. They didn't rob anybody. It was just like, hey, you had people from jurisdictions like the US who were not supposed to be using your platform. Okay, we'll pay the fine, right? So they're not getting shut down, nothing bad happening. So just want to let you guys know OKX had to pay some fines here. And a final news item, we are seeing some roadblocks here or headwinds as it relates to the Bitcoin reserve bills on the state levels. We're seeing some of them getting denied. So we had heard about Utah getting a version through their House and that version has to go through the Senate. But multiple states, some of these bills are getting rejected. Now, some people are coming out saying, see, this won't happen and so forth. But it's like, this is the first go round. This is expected. Guys, if you understand what happens in Washington, D.C. with bills, how many times the first version of a bill gets rejected and it comes back, it gets introduced, it gets packaged with another bill. And plus, the Bitcoin Reserve idea is still very brand new. Kudos to the people who are getting the ball rolling and pushing these through. But as you can imagine, there's a lot of people who don't understand Bitcoin and crypto. They just read headlines. Remember, we're still coming off of this crazy 4 years under Gensler and Elizabeth Warren. So it wouldn't surprise me if a majority of these bills get rejected initially, but they get reintroduced, if not this year, a couple of years from now, and then they start making progress because people would be much more clear on this. Plus, a lot of state representatives are going to look to the federal government first. They want to see what the federal government's going to do by passing crypto legislation, plus the Bitcoin Reserve Bill that's on the federal level, introduced by Senator Cynthia Lummis, which President Trump endorsed. And if that makes it through, then it will be pretty clear cut for many of these states to do that. But this is not a bearish thing to me because I understand how politics in the government works and that there still needs to be clarity on the federal level with market structure and much more, which, we're anticipating will get passed this year. So guys, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Are you feeling fearful? Are you worried the bull market's over? Don't be worried, guys. Based on the data now, not my feelings or emotion. I'm not here to motivate you or anything like that. Simply, I'm telling you, the data does not show the bull market's over, and these things happen in bull markets. Now, if key support levels break, I will be on here saying, guys, uh-oh, we got problems, right? But we're not there. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm keeping it real with you guys. All right, guys, a great way you can support me in the podcast is by checking out my free email newsletter. It's on Substack. A lot of the data and charts and metrics that I share in the podcast, you can view in that email newsletter. I send it out every week, guys. So check it out. It's 100% free. Also, check out my book, Rethinking Crypto, on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. Those of you who bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review. It will help out the rankings. And be sure to check out my new course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that covers every aspect of crypto from A to Z. What makes this course unique, and no other course out there offers this. You will hear from founders, CEOs, institutional investors, innovators explaining crypto to you. So it includes expert commentary, guys. You got videos, you got write-ups, you got downloadable materials and much more. You pay a one-time fee, you get lifetime access, go at your own pace, and you can share the login with your friends and family if you want. So once again, no other course is like this, and it's packed with value. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.